Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Jonathan Bam Rivers. You know, the official voice and spokesman for Alliance Specialty Contractor, and this is the Live with Alliance. This is our second episode. Shout out to our boy Thrift, who's handling all this for Alliance Specialty Contractor on the back end, so big ups to him. So listen, we've got a great guy today that I've gotten to know over the last, I think, couple of months, right? And this is somebody who's really knowledgeable about his craft, and we're going to bring him in a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to remind you to check out the YouTube channel for Alliance Specialty Contractor. We also have the Alliance Insights podcast, where yours truly is the host, and my guest is the big fixture of that as well. The video is available on YouTube, but we also got the audio podcast, guys. It's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And the audio is available to you as we speak, so make sure you go out. And that's what you love about live, man. The phone starts to ring, and we still going to keep the party going. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to my boy, Josh Haugen. Josh is actually the National Sales Director here at Alliance Specialty Contractor, and he's a phenomenal individual, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to get to know him a little bit. My boy.
Hey,
what's
thanks
up,
for having me, man.
Always, man. So listen, you and I have done plenty of interviews. We've also had plenty of conversations.
Yes.
But I want to give people some insight into who you are. So just kind of tell everybody your story a little bit, you know, where you've come from and how that story led you to Alliance.
Sure. You know, I was a young kid in my 20s, straight out of the military in the Midwest. And I woke up one night about 2 a.m. to my mama dragging me out of bed and across the floor.
Literally.
Literally. It's true. And, you know, I come to and I'm getting my bearings and I hear this smash, smash, smash. Well, I was sleeping under a plate glass window. And these hailstones were just striking that baby like a hammer on the backside of it. And it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. For 45 minutes, baseballs fell out of the sky. And everything that pointed west and southwest was beat off the side of the house or on the floor, cars totaled. The whole town was destroyed. And here I am,
right?
You know, 22 years later. No other event changed my life more than that hailstorm.
And you know, it's so funny how we look at life sometimes. We look at situations like that and we look at them as negative situations. But for you, it opened your eyes and it also gave you a passion to kind of get into what you're doing right now.
Well, yeah, it definitely was a doorway into a career that I'd never considered or even heard of before. And the longer I was in it, the more we talk about global warming and climate change.
Right.
Like I'm in a right business.
So listen, Jody Cromley is the CEO of Alliance Specialty Contractor, and you know, as a voice of Alliance, he and I always talk about the vision that he wants to encompass and encapsulate. And he was just telling me about this guy. Hey man, I've got this guy named Josh Haugen who's coming in to be my national sales director and my lead trainer. And I was like, man, who is this guy? And he just talked about so much of your skill set and your passion. And the one thing that you've coined and we've coined for you is the agent of fairness.
Sure.
And I want you to tell people exactly what that means and how that came to pass.
Well, it came from my first licensing to be an adjuster out of the state of Indiana, where their curriculum taught that the independent adjuster was an agent of fairness between a homeowner and the insurance company.
Exactly.
His job was to evaluate a given claim and seek fair. Obviously, the larger the claim, the more he was paid to compensate it, but he didn't have an agenda to one side or the other.
Right.
And I found that to be an amazing place to earn a living. I didn't have to talk anybody out of anything.
Right.
I had to show up, I had to tell the truth, I had to go home whistling.
And there's no better feeling when you can come in here, tell the truth, help people out, and then go on about your business.
Correct.
So speaking about telling the truth, you know, what I love about you, Josh, is that, you know, we're both men of faith.
Sure.
And strong faith. And it's funny how the first conversation we had was sort of centered around that and everything else kind of filled in around that. Talk about that. Talk about your faith and how that is your moral compass and how it allows you to operate, not just with the job you do at Alliance, but in your everyday life.
So, like, I guess one of the first things that's always at the forefront of my mind is the Lord hates uneven scales. Proverbs.
Right.
Right. Real easy one to actually kind of guide yourself with. And, you know, I'm a human being. Selfishness is in my nature, and it's really easy to fall into that.
Right. It's the flesh, man. It's the flesh.
That's the flesh. So being in a career that allows me to earn a strong living for my family with the truth is just a very Christian place to be.
Man, project managers are a huge part of Alliance Specialty Contractor.
They're the backbone here.
And they're the backbone. You have the esteemed privilege of training the backbone.
So
you're building the backbone, right?
Correct.
So just kind of talk about project managers, their roles, and how you step in to make sure they can become the most solidified and best project manager to help Alliance help the consumer at the highest level.
Sure. So the project manager is the direct liaison between the company and our most important feature, our customer out there. And where I've come into play is to teach that project manager how to connect their homeowner with their insurance policy. Insurance is kind of a funny thing. It's the one thing we all buy and then hope we don't use.
No doubt.
So, yeah, everybody buys that policy, they throw it away in their filing cabinet and hope they don't have to use it. And a lot of people don't realize that they are subject to events all the time that they could actually cash in on.
Absolutely.
And, insurance isn't welfare. It's a gamble.
Right.
The company gambled with you on a bet of loss.
Yeah.
If you take a loss, cash that baby in.
No doubt.
So I teach the project managers that process and how to deal with their homeowners and help walk them through it. In my time, I've learned that the average homeowner, they have more children than insurance claims. An insurance claim can be a very, very scary thing.
Right.
Especially if it's you versus State Farm. Well, that's a $24 billion company, and who are you?
Yeah.
But you have a contract with them, and that contract's law.
You and I talk a lot about training because you're big in training.
Sure.
But we also had a conversation a couple of weeks ago when we were doing another video, and we talked about the soft skills, right? The communication, the customer service, the mindset.
Sure.
Talk about how important that is for somebody coming into a role like this, because we know when it comes to contractors and things of that nature, turnaround may be pretty high because people may not be prepared mentally for what they're stepping into. Talk about the importance and how they can actually get to that point.
Well, it's vital. Like if you're a good project manager, you're going to be overwhelmed inside your first month.
Yeah.
You're going to have so many people to deal with. So just taking time each and every day to touch all of your files, take a mental note of where they're at, and that'll help you make a physical note to call these people and touch base with them, or to follow up on your insurance money.
Right.
And springtime, the most difficult thing we always face is our weather schedule. Mm-hmm. Like for the next 9 days, I've got at least a 28% chance of rain. So would you crack a house open with 28% chance?
Me personally, I probably wouldn't.
Right? Right? That's the smart move. So in the summer, we don't face that, neither do we in the fall, because we're a lot drier and we can go a lot faster. So right now, keeping base with people that have paid for their roof but waiting to be scheduled, the customer service is really important.
Well, one, let me say this. I'm glad that you gave me that question because I was afraid when you said 28%, it didn't seem that high, but I'm glad I got the right answer on that one.
Yeah.
But lastly, man, we're not going to spend a lot of time holding you up because I know you're a real busy man. But just to end this thing, I want you to tell people something about Alliance that they may not know, because I think when people have contractors, they think they're just like everybody else. And I always talk about a separation tool for people that I'm training or people that I'm coaching or athletes that I'm coaching. What would you consider to be the separation tool of Alliance and why people would come to this contract?
Alliance is a full-service GC company. So, sometimes we get into where we're only just talking about roofing.
Right.
But let's say that tree came through your roof and destroyed your living room and killed the carpet all the way to the kitchen and the water got underneath the tile floor. We can actually deal with all of that.
Okay.
So you just have one contractor to deal with. We'll deal with the subcontractors. We just did a water loss on a guy. We had 5 different professionals in that house to render it back to its normal phase, where that homeowner just had to deal with us.
Right.
We dealt with the other guys.
And when that communication and that process is streamlined, it's always better for the customer.
Yep.
Always better. Well, man, look, there's never a time where you don't kill it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Agent of Fairness, we're going to get you on some kind of TV show because our girl Cimena, who also helps out with this, is out getting some training, and she's learning how to create movies. So I've already tried to put in for a spot, so make sure you do as well.
I'll do that.
You'll kill it, man. All right, my boy, absolutely. Hey, look, this is Live with Alliance. I'm your boy, Jonathan Bam Rivers. Remember, the Alliance Insights podcast, the video version is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on the Apple Podcast as well as Spotify. Hey, until next time, this has been Live with Alliance. I'm your boy, Jonathan Bam Rivers. This is Josh Haugen. Y'all have a blessed